What if I told you I got a business partner who works 24/7, never gets tired, never misses a deadline, and costs less than your phone bill? That partner is ChatGPT. No hype, no pretending it runs everything for me. I still have to show up, but I use ChatGPT to move faster, plan better, and execute smarter. And today I'm going to walk through 6 ways that I use it to grow my business. If you're dabbling with AI or just using it to write the odd email, stick with it, because what I'm about to share with you will unlock a whole new level of productivity and clarity, no matter what kind of business you're in. Number one, podcast research and interview prep. Let's start with something that's central to me and what I do as a content creator. My show is called Business Growth Talks. You're obviously here. I've run over 550 episodes, interviewed over 280 people, and it's one of my main content engines that is able to do lead generation for my businesses. But prepping for interviews does take time. Let's be honest, if your questions are the same ones that you're getting heard 50 times, no one will get excited. So that's why I use ChatGPT as my behind the scenes researcher. I feed in my guest's LinkedIn profile, bio, past podcast appearances, and some notes about their business. I really pull as much as I can. Sometimes I ask from my client, from the guest, some information as much as they can. It might be from their website. I will then ask ChatGPT to generate 15 unique questions. 5 about their personal journey, 5 about how they serve their clients, and 5 about how they grew their business. And also then I delve into short intros, summaries. So when I'm coming back to the client, if I'm preparing a couple of days ahead, I'll look at my summary, remember the person, and then be able to think about the questions. Now, importantly, I do go through those questions. I will review them. I will go in and add certain questions that I want to do or edit them that way. But it is definitely a great starting point for my podcast research. It makes my interviews sharper, more unique, and way easy to prep for. I was spending like an hour plus on each guest. And being able to have all that information, put it into ChatGPT, is an awesome way of being able to fast line that way. And then you don't have to employ a researcher or an assistant to be able to help you. If you're finding this content useful, and you're a business owner, coach, or consultant looking to save time and sharpen your message, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's think about what we can do with getting ChatGPT as part of your system to be able to grow your business. Number 2, strategic planning and ideation. Next up for me, it is planning. Whether I'm building a content calendar, sketching out new products, brainstorming, thinking about a workshop or a proposal document, I use ChatGPT as a strategy partner. I use it to get out of my head. I'll put something in, act as a strategist, act as a content creator, act as an ideal client, and it will help me plan out different ideas and different ways of being able to help my clients. For example, like podcast guesting with my business podcast introduction, I also think about ideal clients and working out how I can get to those people and be able to start conversations. And what it comes back, sometimes it is really useful. It's not just ideas, sometimes it's structure. I can refine it, ask questions, and adjust until I'm ready to go with it. ChatGPT also helps me with things like from multiple angles. I'll ask it as a simulation objective, like something like play devil's advocate to this plan that I've got, or suggest what a founder might be thinking if they heard this offer. It is really useful to create those ideas and those counterpoints to my ideas to really be able to propel my business. Section 3, building my leadership training offer. Now, I've been doing something over the last few months, which is a little bit more personal. It's a bit of a side hustle that I'm doing with leadership training. I'm aiming at senior professionals transitioning into board roles and non-exec roles and working at what leadership positions and roles and different different skill sets that they might need. And I've put that through ChatGPT to give me ideas about the different structures that I need within that business. It started up with a few rough thoughts. What outcomes would clients want to achieve? What themes matter most in leadership? ChatGPT helped me create and shape, not create, but shape the curriculum for the modules that I've been able to do. Things like module titles, thinking about outcomes and workshops and formats and proposals. These are all really great ways of being able to get fast track from ideation into an actual business. And then I'm putting in things like, you're a CFO at a global firm. What objectives might you have to this training? What do you need to know to be able to trust that we can deliver? It gave me a whole new level of insight into messaging, pain points of ideal clients, and positioning. I now have a complete training offer that is aligned to how clients think, and I'm working on finding those clients that I can help deliver that strategic leadership roles, ideas, skills, so they can then be able to really propel their business. So let's just make this interactive, just you and me. What one offer, program, or service have you been sitting on because it feels too big to start? Drop it in the comments below. I'll reply and give a simple ChatGPT prompt that will maybe help you progress with that idea. So an offer, a program, or service that you're stalling on. Number 4, content creation and repurposing. Now let's talk about content. I publish newsletters, host a podcast, upload videos, show up on LinkedIn weekly. That used to mean hours of work, sometimes with a blank page, not knowing what I'm going to do. Not anymore. Now I'll feed into ChatGPT a rough voice note or maybe a podcast transcript and ask it to turn it into blog posts, into email newsletters, maybe a carousel on LinkedIn, maybe even a solo episode like this one on YouTube. Suggest 3 video titles and hooks that match the tone of the brand. And it's also great on repurposing content and thinking about how to make a single episode into multiple formats like short form clips, quotes, email teasers, you name it. This one idea can be turned into multiple pieces of content consistently, quickly, and without making it sound like a robot. This is so powerful for me. Obviously, we still have to review it. We still have to edit it. You still have to sometimes make it a little bit personal to my voice and what I want to communicate. But it really speeds up the content creation. It's a fantastic tool for that. Now, this one I go through phases, and this one is very much that I personalize these comms very much. So ChatGPT, I think, is about 80% right when you give it the right prompts. But this whole idea of writing outreach, maybe like comms to people. So if you've ever sat down wanting to write a follow-up email and thought, I just need to make it more persuasive, that's what ChatGPT can do. Here's how I use it. Writing follow-ups after podcast interviews or discovery calls. Crafting sales emails that don't feel sleazy, just clear, confident, and direct. Personalized intros when I'm inviting someone to be on my show or collaborate on a project. I give it with the background with a few sentences and give it a real feel for myself. I will tweak. It's so important that when you're using ChatGPT, it is fantastic for doing all these things, but you still need to review it and make sure that it makes sense and it sounds authentic to you. So it can help with the behind the scenes stuff, and it can make a huge difference. Number 6, offer testing and positioning support. Now, this is something I've only started doing quite recently, but it is super powerful. When I'm testing a new offer, refining maybe a sales page, a landing page, or trying to improve my messaging, ChatGPT will give me this feedback tool. I'll write out a paragraph or two describing the offer and then say, what objectives would a founder have to this? Or maybe, how could this be phrased more clearly? Or what part sounds too generic? But it also sometimes thinking about that you want to sound like a particular person. You want to sound like, whether it's a Gary Vee or a Stephen Bartlett, just about the phrasing, and maybe asking for whether it's someone like Gary Vee from Gary Vee's point of view, how would he criticize? How would he object? How would he give me feedback on what I've just created? It is a brilliant feedback loop that you can get, and it's a great way of testing copy of things like landing pages, sales calls. I see the difference: more clicks, more conversions, and more conversations. So really think about having it as a counterbalance to what you've developed already, and let it be that way of being able to give you feedback on what you've delivered. Look, at Podcast Introduction, we use ChatGPT for more than just behind the scenes admin. It helps our clients show up better, from developing standout talking points to repurposing content for LinkedIn newsletters and lead magnets. If you want to combine AI tools and podcast guesting to raise your profile and win clients, please do check out Podcast Introduction and book a call with me or my team. And if you're finding value at this type of content, where I'm looking through the ways that I run the business, the ways that I'm getting successes, then please do give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel and comment below if you've got any ways that you're using ChatGPT or any other AI tool like Gemini or Claude in your business, and what you would suggest would be a good thing for me to think about. And I will reply to as many as I can. Want to see more content about business growth? Watch this next video above. It can break down different aspects of business growth, whether it's sales, marketing, operations. Just check out the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.